Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to this special briefing by Secretary ER Shree Sudhakar Dalela on the upcoming visit of Rashtrapati ji to Angola and Botswana. The visit will take place during 8th to 13th of November. Let me also inform you that this happens to be the maiden press briefing of Secretary ER. So while the visit is so important, this is also a special attribute
of this particular briefing. We also have with us Srimati Manisha Verma,
Press Secretary to Rashtrapati ji, as also Shri Sevala Nayak Mude, Additional Secretary, who looks after Central and West Africa, and Shri Janesh Kain, Joint Secretary, who looks after Eastern and Southern Africa. With that, I invite Secretary ER for his opening remarks on the upcoming state visit. Sir.
Thank you very much, Randhir, and good afternoon to all of you, friends from media. As Randhir mentioned, Honorable President will be paying a state visit to Angola and Botswana from November 8th to 13th. This will be the first ever state visit by an Indian head of state to Angola and Botswana. As all of you are familiar, India's engagement with Africa has been growing across all key pillars, from political to trade and economic to development partnership and people-to-people connections. There have been numerous high-level political engagements at the level of head of state, head of government, vice president, EAM. These engagements have allowed us to deepen our cooperation with the African region across sectors. India's engagement with Africa is guided by 10 principles outlined by Honorable Prime Minister in 2018 while addressing the Parliament of Uganda. Our expanding ties with Africa align with the development agenda of the African continent, which is reflected in their Agenda 2063 document. The India-Africa Forum Summit provides a comprehensive framework for dialogue and cooperation with the African region. You are aware that India's diplomatic footprint has expanded significantly in recent years with the opening of 17 new missions in Africa. You're also aware that it was during India's G20 presidency in 2023 that we welcomed the African Union as a new permanent member of the G20. India's growing engagement with the African continent is also in consonance with government's priority for a strengthening partnership with countries in the global south. Our trade with the African region is reaching almost $100 billion. We have a strong development partnership with the African region. Over 3 million strong Indian diaspora across African region continues to serve as a bridge for fostering cultural and economic linkages. The visit of Honorable Rashtrapati ji has to be seen in this larger context of high priority accorded by Government of India in expanding partnership with the African region. Honorable Rashtrapati ji will be visiting first Angola from 8th to 11th November at the invitation of her counterpart from Angola. You will also recall that earlier this year in May, Angolan President had paid a successful visit to India. He had extended an invitation to Honorable President to visit Angola and to also participate in the 50th anniversary celebrations of Angola's independence. India had consistently supported Angolan freedom struggle, as many of you would know. Further, India and Angola are celebrating the 40th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations this year. President of Angola is currently the chairperson of the African Union. So for all these reasons, the visit of Honorable Rashtrapati ji assumes significance. During her visit, Honorable President will be holding bilateral talks with the President of Angola. She will be attending the 50th anniversary celebrations of Angola's independence on 11th November. Honorable President is scheduled to address the Angolan Parliament and to interact with members of the Indian community of Angola. India and Angola, of course, enjoy very close ties of friendship and cooperation, which have been growing across sectors. We have a vibrant energy partnership with Angola. Building on the momentum imparted by the visit of Angolan President to India this year, the state visit of Honorable Rashtrapati ji will provide an opportunity to review entire gamut of bilateral ties and to expand mutually beneficial cooperation in sectors such as agriculture, health, energy, trade and investments, technology, infrastructure development, defense, and people-to-people connections. On the second leg of visit, Honorable Rashtrapati will be visiting Botswana from 11 to 13 November at the invitation of the President of Botswana, His Excellency Duma Gideon Boko. The state visit underscores India's commitment to strengthen its long-standing and friendly ties with Botswana. During the visit, Honorable Rashtrapati will be holding bilateral talks with her counterpart. The two leaders will discuss and explore new avenues for enhancing bilateral cooperation in areas such as trade and investments, technology, energy, agriculture, health, pharmaceuticals, defense, and people-to-people ties. In Botswana as well, the Honorable President is scheduled to address the National Assembly of Botswana and visits sites of cultural and historical importance. Several dignitaries from Botswana will call on Honorable Rashtrapati during her visit. I may add that India and Botswana will be celebrating 60th anniversary or 60 years of establishment of diplomatic relations next year. Botswana's Vision 2036 document outlines its effort to diversify its economy and to become a high-income society. In this context, the visit will provide us an opportunity to appreciate their priorities and discuss how Indian business community can partner with their Botswana counterpart in identified sectors. We are also engaging with Botswana for translocation of cheetahs to India as part of Project Cheetah and expecting good progress in this regard. In both Angola and Botswana, we have vibrant Indian community. Honorable Rashtrapati will be interacting with them in Luanda and Gabon. The upcoming visit of Honorable Rashtrapati is therefore very important, and we are expecting important outcomes in the form of MOUs or other announcements. We are confident that the visit of Honorable Rashtrapati will further strengthen India's long-standing collaborative ties with Angola and Botswana and open up new avenues for collaboration and expanding our partnership. It is also, as I said earlier, reflective of India's firm commitment to further strengthen its multifaceted partnership with the African continent. With these words, I would be happy to respond to any question that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we open the floor for questions. We'll take a couple of questions together. So here, first, Huma.
Sir, I have two questions. My name is Huma Siddiqui and I'm from Stat News Global. Angola is going to resume the presidency of the African Union next year. So, how important would be energy and food security when you are there in Angola? Will that and would any agreement in the energy sector be signed? And my second question is, in the defense and the space sector, is there anything on the cards to be discussed?
Sahil.
Sir, I'm Sahil Pandey from ANI News Agency. So what bilateral agreements, MOU or joint liquidation are planned for signing in the areas like energy, agriculture, health, defense or digital cooperation, if any?
Keshav.
Sir, good evening. Keshav Padmanabhan from The Print. My first question is with regards to Angola. When the Angolan president had come earlier this year, I think there was a $200 million line of credit for defense modernization. So I just wanted to understand where that line of credit is and whether there will be discussions on this. And with regards to Botswana, you also mentioned new areas of cooperation with regards to defense. So I just wanted to understand what will be discussed or what is on the agenda with regards to defense and security cooperation with Botswana in particular. Thank you.
One more question we'll take. Rishabh.
Hi, sir. Good evening. Rishabh from Times Now. Sir, wanted to understand when we talk about defense between India and Angola or India and Botswana as well, are we also looking at training their recruits for their defense forces as well? Because there was certain talks that certain African countries are interested in training their recruits in Indian academies.
So we can take these questions and come back for more.
Well, thank you very much for all these very thoughtful questions. Let me start by the question regarding Angola and the chairpersonship of Angolan president for the African Union. So they assumed the chairpersonship this year in February, and they will continue to be chairperson till next February. And as I mentioned to you, we work very closely with the African Union in the framework of India-Africa Forum Summit. And we would like to discuss the cooperation with the chairperson of AU and see how we can make the next meeting of the India-Africa Forum Summit a success. We are in touch with the African Union colleagues and we are discussing with them. We are planning already as to how we structure, what are the dates. We have to, of course, consult AU because a number of leaders will be traveling for the India-Africa Forum Summit. You mentioned energy and food security. I think both are very critical sector for cooperation. When the Honorable President of Angola came to India this year, he did discuss both these aspects with our leadership. Of course, we have fairly vibrant energy partnership with Angola already, and we have about 5 billion trade with Angola, out of which I would say 80% is energy sector. So our partnership with Angola from energy security perspective is very critical. And we would like to explore the possibility of providing sort of more momentum and depth to our partnership in the energy sector. Angola has a large sort of segment of arable land, and they are very keen that Indian expertise, Indian technology in the area of agriculture can be utilized by Angolan side. So we are very ready to share our experience with the Angolan side, and this visit will give us a chance to discuss those elements also. There were two questions on defense, LOC/defense cooperation with Angola. You are very right that we did announce our readiness to extend a line of credit of 200 million for cooperation in defense sector with Angola. We are in the middle of discussion with Angola now to finalize LOC agreement. We feel that we will be able to partner with Angola in this important area of defense as per their requirements. On defense training, I would like to mention that we do train a number of officers from partner countries in Global South, including Angola and Botswana. With Botswana, actually, we have very historic partnership in the defense sector. Our Indian training team was there for 3 decades in Botswana, working very closely with the Botswana Defense Forces. And as we speak, we have a number of officers from Botswana coming every year as part of the ITEC program, both for civilian and for defense. So we would like to pursue our cooperation in defense sector with both Angola and with Botswana. You mentioned about space cooperation also, and I'm very happy that you raised this point. This aspect was also discussed during the visit of Angolan president to India, actually. And he expressed an interest in sort of harnessing space technology for various development programs. We would like to pursue that conversation during this visit of Honorable Rashtrapati to Angola. There was a question about what we are going to sign in terms of bilateral MOUs. As I mentioned, we are discussing MOUs in the area of health, in the area of fisheries, in the area of capacity building. And we do hope that we can concretize these MOUs before the visit of Honorable Rashtrapati. There would also be some announcements. As you know, we have been requesting our partner countries to join the regional framework such as International Solar Alliance or CDRI or Global Biofuel Alliance or International Big Cat Alliance. And we are very hopeful that during the visit of Honorable Rashtrapati that Angola and Botswana will indicate some positive movement on our request for them to join and partner with us in these regional context. I think I have tried to answer most of the questions. If I missed something, I'll be very happy to come back again. Thank you.
So, Srinjoy first.
So you spoke about cheetahs. How many cheetahs and when are they expected? It's generated so much interest and optimism in India.
Mm-hmm. Rishikesh?
Sir, Rishikesh from PTI. So, is India exploring to boost its oil imports from Angola? And as we have seen in the past, China has offered a huge amount of loan to Angola in exchange of oil imports. Will India follow this route, or India is offering some kind of loan to build infrastructure in Angola?
Ishi?
Yeshi Seli from Business India had a question similar to Rishi. You just mentioned that 80% of Angola's exports are energy exports, right? So is it primarily crude or LNG, because they export both, and also you're sending back refined products. Now, in the light of sanctions on Russian crude, are we going to be increasing crude from Angola? And do you know the percentage of crude that we import from Angola right now?
विजयलक्ष्मी आप
सर, आपने एक तो बताया कि डिफेंस के क्षेत्र में साझेदारी को लेकर, इसके अलावा किन और क्षेत्रों में साझेदारी इस पूरे समिट से आ सकते हैं, और डिजिटल इनोवेशन एक सेक्टर है, उसको लेकर के भी क्या किसी तरह की कोई घोषणा या कुछ इस विजिट के बाद हमारे सामने आ सकता है?
अखिलेश.
So I'm Achilles Suman from Doordarshan News. Can you tell us who are the part of delegation that is going with resident, and also that some people think that there are lots of unexplored rare earth minerals in Botswana and Angola. So are you going to talk about it also?
So one last follow-up question from Keshav.
Thank you again. Keshav from The Print. I just wanted to check, Angola is part of the Lobito corridor, which was announced at the G20, apart from IMEC, and I know that's EU, US primarily, but I just wanted to check whether there's any discussions on India sort of joining or participating, or sort of these sort of transport connectivity projects in Africa, with Angola in particular. Thank you.
Sir.
Well, thank you very much for these questions. I'll try to respond to all of them in the sequence that they were raised. Firstly, about the cheetah. As I mentioned, we have been working already with Namibia and South Africa as part of our shared commitment for conservation and biodiversity protection. So we have, in addition to Namibia and South Africa, we have been talking to Botswana for some time, and they have indicated their readiness to work with us in this area. So I would not like to give you a number, but certainly it will be a good number that we are hoping, and I also feel that they will be moving to India very soon. Now the next question was about the LOC in general for infrastructure projects. You are right that we have, as part of our development partnership, we do assist partner countries through line of credit or sometimes grant assistance also. And if there's a request from Angola or Botswana in the area of infrastructure development and some assistance for line of credit, we'll be very happy to look at those requests. As of now, we don't have any requests from them in this area, except the defense LOC that we have already announced. In terms of import from Angola right now, we do import crude and we do import LNG also. You're very right. As I mentioned to you, last year our imports were of the order of $4 billion. And we would like to discuss with Angola as to how we can strengthen our partnership going forward, as Angola is the second largest supplier of energy from Africa. So this is a very important area of cooperation for us. We do also export refined products to Angola, as you mentioned. In the area of DPIs and digital innovation, yes, we are very keen to share our expertise and experience in the area of digital innovation, digital stack, digital technology, DPI, and there is a degree of interest both in Angola and Botswana, and I think this visit will give us a clear idea as to what exactly the requirements are from these two partner countries, and we will be very happy to strengthen our partnership in both these areas. In terms of rail network, there was a question about rail connectivity and the corridor that you mentioned. Of course, Angola has a sizable rail corridor, and I gather that they are trying to develop more connectivity towards Namibia as also towards Zambia or DRC, and they are trying to look at the possibility of partnership in the area of rail infrastructure. So again, we haven't received any clear concrete proposal from Angola, but maybe during this visit, this issue may come up for discussion, and we will be very happy to engage and see what are the possibilities in this direction. We have tremendous capacity, of course, in rail sector, and we have been working in Africa in rail sector with Mozambique and other countries. Mineral resources, some colleague mentioned, certainly yes, आपने पूछा था, So mineral, we certainly, as part of our larger trade and economic cooperation, we are working with the partner countries in Africa in the area of critical minerals. We have a national critical mineral mission in India, and we would like to work with them and see how we can work in this area through joint ventures, through processing of some minerals together, and meeting our requirements for sustainability, including electrical vehicles and other sectors of cooperation. Thank you.
सवाल आपको पूछना है, कोई नया सवाल हो तो बोलिएगा, और विल जस्ट रैप इट अप. बताइए संतोष. ओके, हुबा एंड कलोल, लास्ट टू.
Sir, there are concerns about cyber security, especially in the African continent. So, is India expected to offer its support or some kind of a cooperation in dealing with the cyber crimes?
No, later. Kalol and then Santosh, we finished off.
Kalul from the Hindu, sir. Sir, the president is traveling to Africa at a time when there is a very big civil war and conflict happening in Sudan nearby. So is there a message regarding these conflicts that are endemic in Africa? Recently, of course, Nigeria has received so much attention because of President Trump's remarks about the attacks on the Christian community there. So since the president is going, would there be a message also about building consensus and ending these conflicts in the continent, sir?
Santosh ji.
गुड इवनिंग सर, संतोष फ्रॉम नवभारत. सर, मुझे जानना था कि आईटेक में उनका क्या अभी कोटा है दोनों कंट्रीज़ का, और लास्ट टाइम उनका ये था कि वो कोटा बढ़ाने की भी बात कर रहे थे, तो क्या उस पर भी कोई बात होगी? थैंक यू.
We are good to go.
Well, thank you very much again for these very thoughtful questions. Regarding the ITEC, the last question about ITEC, as I mentioned to you, we have a very robust partnership for capacity building with Botswana. I mentioned to you in the last 10 years, almost 750 professionals and students, civil servants have come to India for training program across India in different sectors, including defense area. And if there is a requirement for more slots in certain area, we'll be very happy to have a customized program also for our partner countries from Global South. So ITEC, in capacity building, I think we will be very supportive to any request for enhanced partnership. Regarding cybersecurity area, I think we, again, as I said, as part of our program to build and foster relationship and partnership with the Global South, we would be very happy to work in this area of cybersecurity as well. We haven't had a very detailed discussion with Angola and Botswana on this sector, but going forward, we would be open to collaborating in these domains also with our African partners. I think with the visit, the message of the visit is very clear that we have a very robust, very multifaceted partnership with Africa. We want to work and expand our partnership with Africa and countries in the Global South. We would like to share our own development experience with the African friends, African partners, and we would like to be partner in their development journey. So I think our message is very clear that we want to move ahead at a speed in which we can strengthen our partnership and we can strengthen our trade and economic relationship. We can improve our political engagement, and within the framework of IAFS, across all sectors, we would like to work very closely with the African region. So our message is very clear that we want to partner and deepen our partnership with the African region.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. With that, we come to the close of this press briefing. यात्रा के दौरान कई एक प्रेस वार्ता होंगी और उस प्रेस वार्ता के माध्यम से आप लोगों को अवगत कराया जाएगा कि क्या क्या चीज़ हो रहा है. तो साथ जुड़े रहिए हमारे. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's begin our session, and the floor is open for questions. So we start from there. Shalinder.
सर शैलेंद्र वांगू न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया। आपने देखा होगा कि राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप जब अभी दौरे पे थे एशिया के, जहां पे उन्होंने बार बार ये दावा किया है कि ट्रेड का धमकी देके 250% ट्रेड की धमकी देके उन्होंने भारत और पाकिस्तान का युद्ध रुकवाया, और उन्होंने ये भी बार बार कहा है कि रूस से जो इम्पोर्ट है ऑयल का, उसको लेकर भारत तैयार हो चुका है। इन्होंने रिपीटेडली ये बात कही है। इस पे आप क्या कहेंगे?
सिद्धांत.
We have seen a statement by the Organization of Islamic Cooperation on Kashmir, something that has been tradition. Any Indian reaction?
Please.
Sir, I'm Shimantini Bhattacharjee from Millennium Post newspaper. Sir, reports suggest that India has vacated its establishment at Aini Airbase in Tajikistan. Could you please confirm that the reports and what prompted India's decision, and how does this impact on India's strategic presence in Central Asia? Thank you.
Okay. Ayushi.
So this is Ayush Agarwal from ANI. My question is related to the recent conversation between our Prime Minister and Japanese Prime Minister. How much was Quad discussed between the two leaders, and any discussion on the summit dates?
Sir, there have been reports that some Indians were deported from the US just a week or 10 days ago. So would you have number of Indians deported from the US and the UK so far?
Okay. First, शैलेंद्र, आपका सवाल देखिए, मैंने इस मुद्दे पे और इससे संबंधित मुद्दे पे मैंने स्पष्ट किया है पहले, और मैं चाहूँगा कि जो हम लोगों ने पहले बोला है और स्पष्ट किया है इस मामले में, उस पर आप ध्यान दें. Siddhant, your question regarding the statement made by OIC Secretariat, we reject those statements. They don't have any locus standi to speak on matters which are internal to India. Simutini, regarding your question, see, we had a bilateral arrangement with Tajikistan for the rehabilitation and development of any aerodrome. This arrangement was in place for several years. After the conclusion of the agreement that we had with Tajikistan, we have handed over the facility to the Tajik side. This happened in 2022. Yes, Prime Minister had a conversation with the new incoming Prime Minister of Japan. He congratulated her on assuming office. Both leaders discussed India-Japan bilateral ties. This, of course, is a very important partnership for us. It is multifaceted in character. All those issues were discussed. As far as the question of the Quad is concerned, let me tell you that we see it as a valuable forum for discussion on shared interest in a number of areas to the four partners. Any leader summit is scheduled through diplomatic consultations among the four partners. On the deportation, since January of this year, we've had around 2,790 plus Indian nationals who did not meet the criteria. They were illegally staying there, and we verified their credentials, their nationality, and they have returned. This is the status till yesterday, that is 29th October. From the UK side, this year we have had around 100 Indian nationals who have been deported after their nationality was duly verified by us. We could move on for more questions. Parikshit.
Sir, how do you see the US-China talks that have taken place in South Korea, successful conclusion of talks, and on the issue of rare earth magnets especially, we've been learning from the industry that at least 4 Indian companies have received licenses from the Chinese government to import magnets. Having said that, because US and China have agreed on a deal to defer the new export controls for a year, does that mean those export controls which kick in on the 8th of November, the second phase of export controls, do they get deferred for India as well?
Ishi?
This is Yeshi Seli from Business India. My question is on the US sanctions on Russian oil. Does this imply that even the short-term contract that we have with Rosneft and Lukoil comes to an end immediately, or will it be implemented after that is over? And secondly, I have a question on Bangladesh. Their elections are likely to happen next year. Is India putting forth this proposal that there should be free and fair elections and that Awami League should be a part of them?
Okay. Jessica?
This is Jessica Taneja for DD India. Sir, will India consider funding or construction of a dam project in Afghanistan's Kunar province?
Okay. Krishna Mohan?
सर मेरा सवाल है कि भारत एक्सप्रेस सेक्रेटरी मोहन शर्मा, मेरा सवाल ये है कि रूस और अमेरिका और भारत के बीच जो ऑयल एक्सपोर्ट और इंपोर्ट की बात चल रही है, उसके दरमियान कुछ इंडियन कंपनी ने क्या वास्तव में रूस से तेल लेना बंद कर दिया है?
Siddhant?
Hi, sir. I have two questions. One is regarding the statement made by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, where he said, when he was asked about United States deepening ties with Pakistan, he said that these ties are not at the expense of United States relations with India. So I want your comments on that. And second, sir, we've been told that that there have been an exemption which has been granted for the Chabahar port till April. If you can give some more details on that. Thank you.
So first, Parikshit, coming to your question, yes, we confirm that some Indian companies have received licenses for importing rare earth magnets from China. As far as the question of the latest talks and relaxations that have happened between US and China as to how it's going to play into our domain, that I will come back to you. We have to yet look at. I am not aware of the technicalities, but we will come back to you. But I do confirm that Indian companies have received licenses for importing rare earths from China. Ishi, your question regarding US sanctions on Russian oil companies. We are studying the implications of these sanctions. As we have said this before also, our decisions that we take naturally take into account the evolving dynamics that is there in the market, global market. Our position on the larger question of energy sourcing is well known to you. In this endeavor, we are guided by the imperative to secure affordable energy from diverse sources for meeting the energy security requirements and needs of 1.4 billion people. देखिए, जहाँ तक अमेरिकी सैंक्शंस का सवाल है जो उन्होंने रशियन कंपनीज के ऊपर लगाया है, इसको हम लोग अभी किस प्रकार से हमारे ऊपर उसकी इम्पैक्ट होगी, इस बात को हम लोग अभी उसकी अध्ययन कर रहे हैं. जो हमारा डिसीजन होता है तेल खरीदने में, उससे आप भली भांति आप अवगत हैं कि ये जो बाज़ार में जो डायनेमिक्स है, जो उथल पुथल है, उसको लेते हुए हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. और हमारा जो खुद ईंधन खरीदने का जो सोर्सिंग का जो अप्रोच है, उसमें जो हमारे लोग हैं जिनको ईंधन देना है और सस्ते दाम पे मुहैया कराना है, ऐसे दाम पे मुहैया कराना है कि उनकी ज़रूरतें उनको मिल सके, ये हमारे जो 1.4 बिलियन मतलब 140 करोड़ लोग हैं, उनके ज़रूरतों को देखते हुए लिया जाता है. सॉरी, आई जस्ट सेड इन इंग्लिश. On issue on elections, see, it is our expectation that the elections in Bangladesh, it is our expectation, and I've said this before, that elections in Bangladesh, it is our expectation, it should be free, fair, inclusive and participatory in nature. Jessica, on your question regarding Kunar, we had the Foreign Minister of Afghanistan. He visited India recently. As part of the visit, we had issued a joint statement between both countries. This particular joint statement clearly emphasizes that India stands ready to support all efforts of Afghanistan that are directed towards sustainable management of water resources, including hydroelectric projects. You also would know that between the two countries there has been a long history of cooperation on water matters. The Salma Dam, for example, is a perfect example of this cooperation, which is today called India-Afghanistan Friendship Dam. कृष्णमोहन जी, आपके सवाल तेल के बारे में था. हमने कई एक रिपोर्ट देखी है और हमारे भारतीय कंपनी ने बताया भी है कि किस प्रकार का रवैया है उनका, और उसको आप लोगों को अवगत कराया. मैंने कई एक रिपोर्ट हमारे भारतीय तेल कंपनी की तरफ से देखा है कि जो भी वो, तो मैं आपसे चाहूँगा कि उन कंपनियों का जो उन्होंने वक्तव्य जारी किया है उस पर आप नज़र डालें. जहाँ तक हमारा सवाल है, भारत सरकार का सवाल है, हम लोगों ने बताया है कि जो हमारे लोगों की ज़रूरतें हैं, 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की ज़रूरतें और हमारे जो राष्ट्र हित है, और साथ ही साथ विदेशी बाज़ार में, ग्लोबल मार्केट में जो डायनामिक्स होता है, उन सभी के साथ सबको मिला जुला के हम लोग इस पर डिसीजन लेते हैं कि कहाँ से हम अपने ईंधन को, ऊर्जा को सोर्स करें. Siddhant, your question on India-US relations? Yes, you see, India-US relations is a comprehensive global strategic partnership. We remain engaged with both countries to continue to strengthen it further. On your question regarding exemption for Chabahar, yes, I can confirm that we have been granted exemption for a 6 months period on the sanctions that were applicable, American sanctions that were applicable on Chabahar. So Gautam and then Rishikesh.
Sir, good evening. This is Gautam Lahiri. Recently Chief of General Staff of Pakistan visited Bangladesh, and where the Chief Advisor has presented a booklet containing some graffitis. That graffiti, one of the graffitis is a distorted map of Bangladesh, inclusion of a certain portion of the Indian northeastern side. Whether India accepts this kind of distributing graffiti is a definitely diplomatic. It comes under the diplomatic protocol that they can gift anything which contains some distorted map.
So Asti.
Just wanted to follow up on Parikshit's question on what President Trump is calling the G2 summit between US and China. As a consequence of that summit, India is now the highest tariffed country in the world at 50%. China is a little lower effectively. Given this kind of targeting of India, and it's now been for more than 6 months, is the government considering any kind of counter moves against the US, higher tariffs on products already there? And just a clarification about last week's ASEAN summit. Prime Minister Modi decided not to go, or he conveyed that decision to the Malaysian Prime Minister less than 72 hours before the summit. What was the reason given for it? Because there's no official reason given so far. Thank you.
Rishikesh.
Sir, Rishikesh from PTI. So, has India received any proposal from US or Israel to join Gaza Peace Force? And is government considering to join this force?
Mukesh.
Sir, Mukesh from Dainik Bhaskar. Sir, follow up to Suhasini's question, the formation of G2. Some time ago, President Trump has said that we may have lost India to China. Do you think that now US was lost to China?
Okay, first, okay, we can take one more question. Neeraj?
सर, नीरज हूँ न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया से। अभी जब तुर्की में पाकिस्तान और अफगानिस्तान के बीच बातचीत चल रही थी तो बॉर्डर पे अफगानिस्तान पाकिस्तान के दो समूहों ने घुसपैठ किया था, संघर्ष हुआ था। तो उसके लिए जिम्मेदार पाकिस्तान एक बार फिर फितना अल ख्वारिज को के लिए भारत को जिम्मेदार ठहरा रहा है। आखिर ऐसा पाकिस्तान बार बार क्यों कर रहा है कि अंदरूनी मामलों में भारत का हाथ बता रहा है?
ओके, अभिषेक।
सर, पाकिस्तान के डिफेंस मिनिस्टर ख्वाजा आसिफ ने यह भी कहा है कि अफगानिस्तान और पाकिस्तान के बीच जो लड़ाई हो रही है उसमें अफगानिस्तान भारत की तरफ से प्रॉक्सी लड़ाई कर रहा है, और अगर ये इस्तांबुल में उनकी वार्ता नहीं चल पाती है तो देयर विल बी नो ऑप्शन बट फॉर एन ओपन वॉर बिटवीन अफगानिस्तान एंड पाकिस्तान। यू कमेंट ऑन दैट?
Okay. Let me come back now. Too many questions, I can't digest. So, Gautam, first your question. We do understand that a book titled Art of Triumph related to July 2024 developments in Bangladesh, it contains certain graffitis. We also believe that the Bangladesh side has issued a clarification in this matter. Suhasini, your question regarding tariffs. Well, on the trade, India-US bilateral trade that we are engaged in, we continue to remain engaged with the US side to conclude a trade deal, and these discussions are continuing. On the specific questions of, of tariff, etc., I would refer you to Ministry of Commerce. On ASEAN Summit, Prime Minister of India participated virtually in the summit. It was a successful summit. We have given you a readout. There were several announcements that were made, including that both ASEAN and India have designated 2026 as India-ASEAN Year of Maritime Cooperation. So those details are there. I would refer you to look at our press release for the substantive engagement we had with our ASEAN partners. Rishikesh, on peace plan, yes, India has welcomed the peace plan, and that is where it is. मुकेश जी, यूएस चाइना के बारे में अगर आपका सवाल है तो यूएस से पूछें या तो चीन से पूछें। अगर भारत से कुछ सवाल पूछना है तो फिर मेरे से पूछें। Neeraj or Abhishek, your both the questions are interrelated and about the latest developments that are happening between our two neighbors. So, पिछले भी ब्रीफिंग में मैंने इस बात का जिक्र किया था और आपको बताया था कि हम इस मसले पे क्या सोचते हैं। पाकिस्तान अफ़गानिस्तान द्वारा अपने क्षेत्रों पर संप्रभुता के प्रयोग करने से क्रुद्ध है। पाकिस्तान ऐसा सोचता है कि उसका अधिकार है कि वह सीमा पार क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिज्म करता रहेगा और दंड मुक्ति के साथ करता रहेगा। ये मानना है उनके पड़ोसियों का भी कि ये स्वीकार्य नहीं है। जहाँ तक भारत का सवाल है, हम अफ़गानिस्तान के संप्रभुता, क्षेत्रीय अखंडता और स्वतंत्रता के लिए प्रतिबद्ध हैं। We had, in my last briefing, I had elaborated our point of view, our thoughts on this particular matter. I reiterate what I had said in my last briefing. Pakistan is infuriated with Afghanistan exercising sovereignty over its own territories. Pakistan seems to think that it has the right to practice cross-border terrorism with impunity. Its neighbors find it unacceptable. India remains fully committed to the sovereignty, territorial integrity, and independence of Afghanistan. Shivam?
Thank you, sir. This is Shivam Patel from Reuters News. I wanted to ask your view on US President Donald Trump's announcement on testing of nuclear weapons. Also, sir, President Putin is expected to come to India in December for the summit. How do you view the pressure on India to sort of stop purchases of Russian oil and just the pressure on India's ties with Russia in general?
Enjoy.
So, there are reports that Zakir Naik will be in Bangladesh next month. Is there any proposal to request the Bangladesh government if they can hand him over to the Indian government?
He's wanted here.
Ajay?
Sir, good evening, sir. Ajay Banerjee from the Tribune. Sir, certain European companies have been given a waiver by the US with regards to purchase of energy from Russia. And the US and UK have issued notifications exempting a few European countries and their refineries. Are we going to seek a similar exemption, especially in terms of, because Rosneft has its own subsidiaries in India too?
Hi, Jackie Masters, BBC. It's been almost a year since Harshita Brella's body was found in the boot of a car in the UK. Can I check whether the Indian government has had official communication that Pankaj Lamba is wanted for her death, for her murder and her rape? And if yes, what steps have the Indian government taken in the last year?
Keshav?
Thank you, sir. Keshav Padmanabhan from The Print. Have a question on ASEAN. Fundamentally, can you give us a state of understanding on the review for ITIGA, because it was there in the statement after the end of the meeting? And secondly, did the External Affairs Minister raise the issue of Zakir Naik while he was in Malaysia with any of the Malaysian officials? Thank you.
Rishabh?
So good evening, Rishabh from Times Now. Sir, an Indian origin person who has been wrongly convicted in a murder case in 1980s has now been released, saying that he was innocent and he was not, he hasn't committed that crime. Now ICE has taken him into custody and they say that they'll deport him to India. The said gentleman, Mr. Vedam, has only been in India for 9 months, and the family say that they do not have much link here in India. Your thoughts on that, sir?
Okay, first on Shivam, to your question on our position on nuclear issues or where India stands on several aspects of nuclear matters. We have spoken about it on several occasions, so I would request you to look at our statements. On the visit of President Putin, see, India-Russia relationship is an important relationship. We have a multifaceted cooperation, and both sides are working to further enhance their engagement in several areas, economic areas, in space, in technology, on trade, and several other issues. So we will continue to work on the areas that we have mutually agreed. Srinjoy, on Zakir Naik being invited, well, he's a fugitive. He's wanted in India. So we expect that wherever he goes, those people will take due action against him and meet our security concerns. Ajay, on your question, see, we are studying the implications of the American sanctions on Russian oil companies. So we'll have to wait. We'll have to make an assessment on our own as to what sort of implications they are going to have on us. Jackie, I don't have an update on Harshita Brilla case, but I understand that this is a matter which has legal implications, and the matter is sub judice. I'll give you an update on this matter as to where exactly it stands in terms of cooperation between India and the UK, as to what we have to do to take this matter forward from the point of legalities and judicial proceedings. Keshav, on ASEAN, yes, Foreign Minister did have a meeting with the Foreign Minister of Malaysia. He also called on the Prime Minister of Malaysia. All aspects of India-Malaysia relationship were discussed, and that also includes, security cooperation, economic matters, so on and so forth. On your question regarding, what was the question on ASEAN? ITGA, yes, this is again an issue which was reviewed at the leaders level, and we have made a mention of it in the statement that we released. So we give due importance to it. Hopefully we'll take it forward and all our ASEAN partners will come together in it. Rishabh, on this question of this gentleman, we have seen reports on it and we are closely following the developments. We'll see how it unfolds. It is still an evolving situation. Sudhi.
Sir, Sudhi Ranjan from Bloomberg. So just a clarification on the exemption that India has received on the Chabar port. If you could give us an understanding when it has come and till how long that is going to be valid. And at the cost of repetition, sir, going back to Trump's comments yesterday, he kind of said that he had spoken to Prime Minister Modi. Is there anything that you want to, during the conflict, it seems, that's the what we could understand. If you could give us an understanding and your position on that again, sir.
राठी जी.
सर मैं संजीव राठी यूनिवार्ता से. सर कुछ रिपोर्ट्स आई है कि यूरोपीय संघ के नेताओं को गणतंत्र दिवस पर मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में आमंत्रित किया जाएगा. इस पर आप क्या?
So Sudhi, to your question, the exemption has been granted for 6 months. It has come in recent days. I'll be able to give you exact date as to when we got that exemption once I step out of the podium, and we'll get those details for you. On the question of comments made, look, on this particular matter, we have made it very clear what we think, what is our position. So I would ask you to look at what we have said in the past. राठी जी, on your आपका सवाल, देखिए, गणतंत्र दिवस 26 जनवरी 2026 को होगा. अभी से और तब में 3 महीने का फासला है. 3 महीने बहुत लंबा फासला होता है, तो थोड़ा सा आप सब्र रखें. आपको उपयुक्त समय पे हम लोग बताएंगे कि उस 26 जनवरी का गणतंत्र दिवस का हमारे यहाँ कौन मुख्य अतिथि आने वाले हैं. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. All the very best.